man. Hey, what's up, world?
Unfortunately, the Bulls taking an L tonight. Tough L. I'm going to be real with you. It's a tough L because the Bulls were competing the entire game. It's a game that, really, we haven't seen the Bulls on a national TV game. We haven't seen the Bulls in a while on a game like this, and they were competing through the entire game. It is your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. I am joined with all my Breeze brothers. We got P Kid out in Indiana. AD's on my left. Ringo J a little bit further to the left. I'm sorry, Stefan the Don, because he lost his Ringo J status when the Bulls or when the Heat lost to the Golden State Warriors. That's tough. That's tough. As we got the P1s absolutely checking in the chat right now. Eddie P in the live. That was a tough one. I'll start with you, P Kids, seeing as you're the furthest one away. What'd you see that you liked, and what'd you see that ultimately led to the Bulls taking the L tonight?
For one, I like the fact that Zach has shown that he can definitely get it going at will. He's actually starting to develop that type of game where at the stop of a dime, a flip of a switch, he's on. And for those who, like, I know as fans, we don't really value that. We think people should just do it. That's a really hard thing to do. Some people can do that. Very few people can do that. And very few people in the NBA can do that. Remember, it's been less than, I think, 6,000 players that ever played professionally in the NBA. Yeah. So it's very few people who can actually do that, right? And we're starting to see that kind of develop now with him. And that's a great thing. I think he just waited a little too late in this particular game.
Yeah.
That type of intensity to just make sure that we got a bucket, stuff like that. He probably should have started turning that on as Wendell started to taper off. And that's another good thing that we saw. We saw Wendell kind of come alive, accept the challenge of Joel going back and forth. Thought he was in some foul trouble, kind of stayed off of it. But outside of that, we really saw him kind of die in the second half. I mean, he had nearly 15 points before the half. Guess how many points he ended up with?
15.
That's just the type of Wendell Carter we got, right? Yeah. So it's a very Wendell stat. And realistically, that goes to show that, again, Zach doesn't have a consistent number two. You got to have a consistent number two. And Pat, I just have to tell you this. I got to sit up and put my Stephen A. The one thing I don't like, and I thought the refs were egregious. I thought it was really egregious. For them to sit there and say that they're professionals, it's blasphemous. Yeah. I really feel like for them to have the gall to call themselves professional referees.
The mitigated gall.
Hey, listen, the mitigated, I can't pronounce that word anyway. I'm so mad right now. For them to sit there and call themselves professional referees, to sit there and see this man driving. How do you call a ticky-tack foul on Joel Embiid bulldozing somebody, but Zach LaVine is practically getting pushed out there and you don't see it? That right there, ultimately, now listen, we lost this game for a lot of different reasons. And if Ben Simmons was healthy, we would have definitely lost the game regardless. But I'm letting you know right now that you do not consistently rob a team that way. We've had too many games where it's like we're clearly getting robbed. Mm-hmm. We're too many games. 1, 2, I get it. But on a consistent basis, when we call these games, we are sitting there like, man, how is that not a foul?
Yeah.
But I can't be too mad at it. Honestly, for this to be an evaluation year, we got a chance to evaluate our team against the best in the Eastern Conference, and we held our own. We have injuries too, so it's not as if that we can sit there and say, oh, well, they didn't have Ben Simmons. Well, we don't have some of our players too.
Right.
Our players didn't play well as well. So it kind of evens out at this point. Realistically, though, we have to start. We need to get our Zach a number 2. Whether that be another big who can help on the boards or someone who can consistently put up 20 points. Because you know what Joel Embiid had today? He had someone put up 22 points next to his 50. You didn't even see them 22 points.
Yeah.
You saw him hit like what, maybe 3 or 4 buckets, take Pat Will to the cup. Harris had 22 points. Behind him, I think another player at 17. You correct me if I'm wrong. That's called help. Right. Zach doesn't have help. And so, AK, if you're listening, hey, I know that you evaluate faster. Evaluate it's mid-season at this point. Evaluate faster because your star needs help. And guess what? We are no longer in the league where your star is just going to sit back and take L after L and you not get them anything. So that's what I saw. Do I still think that we can make the playoffs? Yeah, 8th seed. I think that's possible. I think that's going to happen. Do I think we're going to go far as built? No, definitely not. And if we don't get another star and get help on the rebounding, hey, no, we're not going to go far at all.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I mean, as far as the refs, like you hate to blame the refs, but it is egregious, like you said. I mean, it's one of those like Zach is leaving the game with his body marked up. Zach is leaving the game limping. Zach is leaving it. I mean, he is literally getting dominated. And I don't mean dominated like somebody's like outplaying him, but I mean literally like as he's coming in, it's a bow, it's a hand to the face. And on the other end, we see superstars getting those calls. Joel Embiid getting those calls consistently. And that's the thing that annoys me most about what we saw tonight. But I will say this, just like you said, there's nothing on the other end. And I'm going to be real with you. And me and you have kind of gone back and forth on this, but I'm going to be real with you. Tonight shows me one thing.
What you got?
You need, as much as we want to say you got to fix the point guard position, you got to get the point guard position. Okay, I can go there with you that I don't think Kobe White's going to be our starting point guard of the future. I just don't. I think he's a nice bench scoring piece at this point. We've seen enough of his career. Okay, maybe that's too far. Maybe not enough of his career, but I think that he's a scorer more than anything. But for as much as we want, as much as Bulls fans are going to come out and say we're going to hype up Wendell Carter because he went at Joel Embiid in the first quarter, that's great. You know who else went it, guys? Reggie Miller went at Michael Jordan in the first quarter. Steve Kerr went at Michael Jordan in the first quarter. Those games ended with Mike having 50, by the way. I mean, take your pick. How many have we seen? We've seen guys go at LeBron in the first quarter. LeBron ends up with 50. It's not about what you do in the first quarter. It's about what you can do for an entire game. And Wendell Carter cannot be your starting center for an entire game. And maybe he can be a 4. I just think he's too. I mean, he looked like a child standing out there next to Wendell. AD, what'd you see? I mean, standing out there next to Embiid. AD, what'd you see?
Honestly, looking at the stats, is we had balanced scoring. We had 10, 15. Well, let me give you exactly. So we got 15 from Wendell, which I know was early. We had 10 from Garrett Temple. We got Zach's 30. Satoransky's 10, and Thaddeus Young's 12. And Archie gave us 10.
That's not enough, though.
It's not enough, but balance scoring throughout, the sprinkle from the starters and a lot of the bench tends to be the recipe for success for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Now, you all are correct. Zach need a lot, there needs to be a second option.
If there's nobody else on the team that can't get 20,
you need a second option.
I
think it is. I
love how
we will have to find that
in the chat.
No, not right now. Not right now.
I love how we have people in the chat that say, "Hey, we be on it with Kobe White." Here's the thing: we're in the league now, where people in their second or third year are giving us more promise. When you're on the court for more than 30 minutes and you're getting starter minutes, and you are saying, "Hey, we need your production." Basically, that's the position you're in. Guess what? You take advantage of that. You know how many rookies right now are taking advantage of that? Listen, you think Tyrese Halliburton came in and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be mediocre even though I'm starting." No, he's actually averaging. You think listen, Cole Anthony's, you think he's gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna be mediocre"? No, they're trying to fight for the minutes. Listen, you can't sit here and play someone and be passive when you have these opportunities. Because guess what? It's not me on it with Kobe. Kobe needs to be on it with himself.
Yeah.
You get starter minutes. We're looking for your production. You got to show up. You have to show up. If you go 2 years on your job and you don't do well, guess what? It don't matter how young you are. You're 2 years on your job. Are you going to get fired? Yeah. you're going to get fired. You're
Yeah.
going to get demoted. Don't sit there and think that this is anything different. This is your job. This is their job. Yeah. So me expecting him to produce with starter minutes isn't nah.
Hey,
But see,
and
this is
I'ma
the
say
thing,
this.
and this is the thing to address the chat. I see
And
a
it's
lot of
not
people.
even. I want him hitting 20 points and 10
I,
rebounds.
I,
and
I
stuff.
I see a lot of people in the chat talking about that. Well, Halliburton's been playing this position his whole life. He's supposed to do that. Halliburton been doing. Other guys have been doing this their whole life. They're supposed to do that. You're right. Kobe's playing a position he's not used to playing, but he was drafted as a point guard.
Facts.
Now, if you want him to be a scoring point, he wasn't drafted as a shooting guard. He just wasn't. He was drafted as a point guard. Now, if you want him to be a scoring point guard, that's fine, but that doesn't fit what we have right now.
Question.
That fits what we have if he's on the bench, coming off of the bench as a scoring point guard. Ringo, what you got?
Yo, I'm gonna say this. Two things. First of all, I noticed a lot of people, us included, we was getting hyped because Wendell was going back at Joel early, which is what we needed. But also in the same breath, you are starting center. We need you to do that every night.
Yeah, I think center is more important to find.
We need you to
legitimately.
We need to do that every night. That's what you get paid for. That's one. Two, I'm with P Kid. Kobe got to be on it because tonight you had 26 minutes, 9 points. I
got you right here.
9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 of 11 shooting, 1 of 5 on 3. You just out there getting active.
You say little too many points to say just active, but more active. Active is when you have a 2-point game and you score 2 points more than me.
Hold on, question.
Okay.
In the chat, they brought up the fact that shout out to Trav, shout out to Tim's. What do you say to those who say that Kobe White has hit his rookie wall?
He's not a rookie no more.
Ain't no rookie wall. You ain't a rookie.
He's not a rookie no more. Now, in the beginning of the season, in the early part of the season, I can say that because I really think that not having a camp, having your season cut short, you're going through some tough things there, right? But when we get into this point, it's one of those things where, okay, you've had time to learn your system. You've had time to understand. Now, I understand Kobe had 30 points a couple games ago, right? But think about how Kobe got those points. 8 threes. 8 3-pointers. And I'm not down in that. Don't think we're not here to down that. Let's be honest. We're excited that we just competed with the best team in the East. Yeah. Like we literally just went down to the wire with the best team in the East. And whether you can say if Ben Simmons was in the game, he would have changed the game or not. We just went down. They are still dominating teams night in and night out without Ben Simmons in there. True. And so we just went down to the wire with the best team in the East. I'm excited about what we just saw. But the thing that I can identify is that Zach LaVine needs help. Because Zach LaVine on a bad shooting night, a horrible shooting night. Let's put this in perspective. 9 of 28. 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. Horrible shooting night.
He needs more attempts.
Still 30.
The interesting
30
thing
points.
Still 30.
30 points.
The crazy part about it is I'm gonna say this too to add to your help point because everybody want Kobe to be that second option that the Bulls are looking for. I'm gonna round up 34 minutes, 15 points, 15 a game.
Who you talking about, Wendell?
Kobe.
Talking about Kobe? Yeah, you should be able to get. Listen.
Minutes.
You're a starting point guard in the NBA. You should be able to score above 10. P. Kid, what you got?
Here's the one thing I would say, and then I want to, because we I don't want this to make the Kobe White show, right? Because we clown. I mean, it's my fault. I lead that charge a lot, so that's on me. I do it.
But I don't even think it's the Kobe White. I think we're literally saying somebody help this man.
We can't sit here and say we need more from Pat Will, but we giving Kobe White a pass. I don't care what you say and what the averages are. I can tell you how easy it is to average 15 in this league when you have a 30-point game, 8-point game, 20-point game, 5-point game. When you get inconsistent like that, it averages out. It averages out. It's your average, right? Okay. But your impact on the floor, no, right? And you can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, he's in his second year." Pat Will needs to produce more, but Kobe doesn't. I can't get that. I can't get that. My point guard can't get me consistent assists without nearly having as equal turnovers.
Yeah.
And
He doesn't look good at points on the floor, is all we're saying. Right? And so we know we needed a PG and we know we needed a big man. It's not a surprise. I don't want to see Kobe lose a gig or something like that. But what he's doing, what we need him for, he ain't doing it.
I want to see his role change. That's all I want. I'm not even telling y'all that Kobe can't score. We've seen Kobe knock down 8 3-pointers in the game. You don't just come into an NBA and knock down 8 3-pointers. I don't care if you're a guy or not. That's not normal. That's not something that people just do. So I'm not telling you Kobe White can't be a player for the Chicago Bulls. I'm telling you that Kobe White shouldn't be the starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls. But if you want to put him in a Jamal Murray, Lou Williams role, absolutely. Put that in.
Jamal Murray got 50 tonight. 50
no, you can't. I don't feel like you can say Jamal Murray. The only reason why is because Jamal Murray produces when he's called upon.
I blame that a lot on coaching. I blame that a lot on coaching. I blame it a lot on coaching.
You low-key don't like Buddy.
I was gonna say
I like that coach like that.
The coach I absolutely.
You know why I don't like that coach? Because one game Jamal Murray played 35, the next game he'll play 15.
Like he dropped 50.
Oh, you talking about minutes? Or
Minutes.
He dropped 50 tonight, and then I guarantee you next night.
Next game he gonna play 22.
Hey,
what is that coach?
Right now?
No.
Right now, he's been playing over 30 minutes. He's dropped 20 or more each game, except for one.
You said who?
Since they've been playing him consistently about 30 or more minutes, he's had 1, 2.
You talking about Murray?
Yeah, the Murray's been balling.
Yeah, because they finally
Jamal Murray is what we want Kobe White to be.
They finally gave my man some minutes, but what I'm saying is I'm not saying that I think you just need to put him in a position to be more successful. But the problem is right now you don't have that guy. Like maybe it's Sato, maybe you could say Sato, but I think Sato is probably. I would bet you Sato is still feeling the effects of COVID-19. If you think about Yohan Moncada from the White Sox, he felt it the entire season. It took him all the way until he just dropped that music video. By the way, banger from Yohan Moncada.
It's better than Bad Bunny. Better than
facts, dog.
Yeah,
he's killing it way better.
Dog,
this man, Yohan, is a wild boy.
That was trash.
What? Hey, did y'all listen to Denzel tape? Album? Mixtape?
So anyway, let's talk about this game here.
Let's please stay on topic.
The heck are you talking about?
What? You got bars with Denzel P. Kid?
I think this is the thing that we need to understand. We're finding out what our team is. Mm-hmm. We're finding out that we have better talent on this team than we expected. I'm gonna be real with you. After last year, did y'all think Thad Young was this? I had seen Thad Young for a good, especially when he was in Indiana, used to get a Bulls buckets. But it was the Bulls. Used to get a Bulls buckets, though. That Young could hoop. But I was always like, I mean, yeah, but he's just a guy. Like he's a rotation guy. Thad Young is not just a guy.
He was doing that in Philly too, though.
Yeah, but even then it was like, you know what I'm saying? He was overshadowed. To me, he was like, okay, that's nice. It's not translating to nothing. But what he's doing this season, he's absolutely translating to something. He's legitimately the second best player on the Bulls.
Who?
Which tells you where you're at. Which is the thing that tells you most where you're at. And so when I look at this team, I see growth, but I still see things that need to be fixed.
And I'm gonna say this too.
That's debatable on second best on the team.
Who you got in second right now?
I hate to say it. Well, he's the X factor for sure. I give Trav that. But statistically, it's
Temple?
It's Larry. When Larry's healthy,
but again, and I think that's the thing to me. Let me ask y'all in the chat. We still in on Lowry?
I'm in on Lowry.
I'm not.
The injury proneness of him makes me not what he does on the court, but the fact that I'm gonna be real. I feel the same about Wendell. It's not the fact that when they on the court they don't produce, because they do. Wendell gave you 15 tonight. Yeah, he got dubbed up. Everybody's getting dubbed up by Embiid. I think you need a better starting center I do, just to compete night in and night out. But I can't compare. I can't look at this one game and say this is why you need a better starting center, because Embiid been doing this to everybody in the league. Like, it's not just Wendell. Wendell just got done up tonight, but it's the fact that they can't stay on the court. I'm sorry. The best ability is availability.
The only person I ain't in on is Otto, because Otto, for some odd reason, is just like vacationing on the IR list. Like,
by the way, before we continue, we got 64 in the chat right here. Can we get 64 likes in the chat? That would be dope. We can get 64 likes on the video. Just get these likes up real quick. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man, and rocking with us.
I mean, I think the craziest thing to me, like, I mean, for me, the eye test for the Bulls' second best player would have to be between Garrett Temple and
I think Temple is the best free agent, and that Temple is the best free agent signing this offseason outside of Christian Wood. Somebody pointed that out.
Garrett Temple and Thad Young. But I will say the fact that Billy, I feel like the hardest thing in the NBA to do is get road wins. For me, I'm
and the Bulls are 7-7 on the road right now.
The fact that they're 500, it's saying a lot. They're going in the right direction, but the Bulls definitely need another score. Because I can't have Zach dropping 35 and then somebody else coming back to me with either 10 or 15.
Yeah,
off of 15 shots. I can't do it.
Now, I think the most interesting thing with this Bulls team is that we're seeing growth. We're seeing them change their game. We're seeing them be a competitive team. But at the end of the day, it's how much of it is going to carry on with the players you have. And that's the question AK needs to ask himself. Do you think that Garrett Temple is a part of your future? Garrett Temple, let's be real. Garrett Temple's what, 35? That's not a future piece. That's a piece to come in and show you how to be a professional, which I love. I need that.
Hold on, then the question is, what vets do we keep?
That maybe, depending on what you could trade for him.
But if that is
if you can get a Horton Tucker and a pick for a Thad Young,
you know what? The simple fact that the Lakers are also interested in Denzel Valentine, I'm really curious as to who they're willing to give up.
Yeah,
34.
Then who's the core? Who's the core?
Zach.
I need more. Give me more than him.
Ain't nothing else.
Now, I will say this though.
Because I really want to ask this question. Like, real talk, outside of Zach, who else is there? There is no core. Your core was supposed to be you traded.
You don't have a core. You got a nucleus.
Exactly. You basically traded for it was Lowry, Chris Dunn, and Zach. You basically out of Lowry, you got Lowry was killing it that rookie year, and basically was like, all right, he need to bulk up and get right. That second year, he just basically fell off and been injury prone ever since. Chris Dunn is not here. Your only piece is Zach. Wendell can't stay out of foul trouble and he's injury prone. So tell me who the nucleus is.
So I'm gonna be real with you. I would be more interested in Wendell if you were like, you know what, we need to go find a 5, move Wendell to the 4, move or move one of them. You know what I mean?
We got a 5 coming, right?
Lowry and Wendell don't work. No,
it's not.
Kind of. Semenovich is technically a 5, but if you put him in there at the 5, you 50.
So we got 50. So they got another Sean Bradley coming.
No, I would say Semenovich is a dude that is but I mean, that's a future. You know what I'm saying? That's a future. You don't know what he's going to be when he gets to the league.
Next year,
but he's going to come next year. He is, in my mind, projected to be a guy more like Lowry Markkanen than not. But a little bit better, a little more aggressive. Like, you know how we beg for aggressive Lowry? Like, Semenovich does that on a regular basis.
The funny thing is, you beg for aggressive Lowry, and that's the same play he got. Like, you got hurt running into somebody, bro. I can't forget that, bro.
But that's not – but listen, and that's why I said you have to figure out who's going to be the healthy one. These guys aren't there.
But you know what the interesting thing is? We've talked a lot about a couple players, but let's not forget the Steven Adams Euro step was probably a little unexpected. But I'm gonna be real though.
Hey, that's a clip. That's a straight up clip.
Time out though. I'm gonna just say this. I don't care. This is why I don't care. Because nobody was watching OKC games like that.
Let me tell you this. If you can find me 10 Steven Adams Euro steps, I will give you $100.
Right now?
Cash,
get your
money.
I would say that we make if they're looking to move him because he
Go
doesn't
ahead,
look
go
good.
Hold on.
He doesn't look good on. He doesn't look as good on New Orleans right now, just because of what Zion is doing and how they're playing him and stuff like that. I would go get him because you know what? We got bullied not just by Joel, but Dwight Howard just came in and practically rebounded over half of our team as if we weren't even there, right? Yeah. At times, like we need someone to do that. Like in Gafford, I like Gafford. He helped us on the blocks, but he doesn't have the size. And those are against the best teams in the league. That's how we're going to lose. We're going to get killed on the rebounds. We got destroyed on rebounds today, right? And so the only teams that we can kind of compete with that are elite would be the Nets because they really have no big man. But DeAndre Jordan on fire is just grabbing boards and putting it back.
Yeah.
We have no real inside presence that consistent. So I would go get a Steven Adams. I would go make a move. Hey, Lakers, you have an interest in Denzel Valentine for some odd reason, which is a legit report. Hey, I want talent. I really do. There's some sleepers out there that we can grab if we're going to have that conversation. Yeah. That will make our backcourt dangerous, shore up our rebounding problem, and then we can go ahead and make some moves. I keep saying his name, and John, I ain't coming at you. But I'm not sold on the Andre Drummond thing.
This is my thing. I want y'all to understand this. Like, don't gauge Wendell based on tonight. Look at the big picture. Because if y'all want to gauge Wendell based on tonight, let me tell y'all this. For y'all that know the past, you wouldn't have wanted to see Andre Drummond out there tonight. Because Joel would have.
Hey, Joel was 70 on that dude, right?
Dog. Like you don't want, and this is the thing. You can't base it based on one game. We're not looking at one game here. Because in one game, let's be real, the Bulls played well tonight. For the most part. You shot bad.
They played well.
You shot horribly, honestly, from the 3-point line. You figured out what you could do to keep competitive in the game. You cut it to 2. The Bulls played well as a team tonight. They made a few mistakes that end up being the game-changing play mixed with a little bit of the referees being some fools. But outside of that, you played a very good game tonight. But we're looking big picture. I want Muggs to understand that Wendell, my view of Wendell is not based on the one game he had versus Indiana where he looks like a dominant big man and the one game that we've seen versus Philly. My view of Wendell has been the whole thing. And the Bulls' biggest problem this season has been what? Points in the paint. Points in the paint and turnovers. You finally figured out free throws, but points in the paint and turnovers.
Yeah.
If you can slow down some points in the paint, you win a lot of these games because you have a player that keeps you competitive in these games. If you can step up defensively at any point in the paint, you have a player in Zach LaVine that keeps you in these games because out of nowhere on a horrible shooting night, he can put up 30.
Right. So I have a question. So moving forward, do we keep on trend and put more investment in the guard position, or is the big man trending enough now that we go get a true 5?
I don't see. Here's the thing. What do you mean by a true 5 in this NBA?
I mean,
let's be real. Joel Embiid's not a true 5. Joel Embiid played like a true 5 tonight. Because
I'm saying even more traditional, like a
you want Rudy Gobert? That's a traditional big man. He don't do nothing but play. He don't do nothing but play with his back to the back. His game style. I'm not saying that he plays
because he don't put up no bucket.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Rudy Gobert might struggle with old boy that Shaq dunked on and then pushed down back in the early 2000s, but that's a whole nother point. But Gobert's style is traditional big man. He's back to the basket. He's gonna turn around. He's gonna give you that little hook. He's gonna pump fake. You jump. He gonna go up and under. He gonna give it to you on the other side.
You know what
and
I
if
want?
you standing down there, he gonna one hand that thing on you. By the way, he's gonna get 15 rebounds. Is that what you want?
Which is the Lopez brother that scores? Not Brook. I want a Brook. Give me a Brook Lopez. Give me a Brook Lopez.
He's shooting that much.
You shake your head.
Brook is not a traditional big man.
No, Brook is shooting.
Brook is the only other shooter that Giannis has on that team.
He developed a three.
He did develop a three. But that was something
that's fairly recent.
Hey, time out though. You know who else developed a three? Serge Ibaka. What is he doing? What is he doing? Shooting that.
He don't never be in the paint no more.
Hey, he don't.
He don't never.
Rico was so right on that.
Never be in the paint.
Hey, Serge Ibaka had Luke Cornett on him, took one back on him, and was like, no.
Right. He don't never be in the paint.
If anything, to speak to your point, Steven Adams is that guy. Steven Adams is your more traditional. I don't want
much scoring.
No, here's the thing, though. If you have a guy, first off, Steven Adams on a different team could absolutely score more.
Yeah.
And if you put him back with Billy Donovan, you would see that. But if you have a guy who can continually defend the paint, we're not in these positions that we're being put in. If you have a guy that can come out night in and night out and he can defend the paint, you're not going to be in these positions that you've been put in. You gave up 52 points in the paint tonight. And most of them are Joel Embiid.
I'm going to say this, though.
That's a name I haven't heard. I like it. Hassan Whiteside would actually fit this team really nice.
Hold on. And for Hassan Whiteside, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go over to our resident Heat fan, Ringo. Give us the Hassan pick for the night.
No, absolutely not. I absolutely
Why
not.
you turning you turning into Michael from The Office?
No, God, no. No, seriously, though. 25, 15, and 5, 0, 0, 9. You getting active.
Hey.
I'm telling you right now, we dealt with that for 4 years. That's not what you want.
Hey, listen.
That's not what you want.
I'm with
Pat Riley. I'm sorry to say this. Pat Riley only paid him because Bosh had to retire. You don't want that. Bro. You don't want that. 4 years, you was out there getting active.
He said Chris Bosh had to almost die for Hassan Whiteside to get a check. Oh my God.
I am telling you right now.
All I'm saying is this. There's a whole lot. I know what you're saying.
And let him have it.
I know what you're saying. And I don't disagree. I don't disagree in some things, right? But check this out. If you look up Steven Adams stats and Hassan Whiteside stats, you know what Hassan Whiteside does that Steven Adams can't do?
What's that?
Score.
My thing. Is it an effort thing with him?
Let me finish.
I feel like it's an effort thing with him. He don't look like he practiced.
Hassan?
To me. Yes. Whiteside. It don't look like he practiced. It don't look like
Hassan Whiteside may not be as consistent as we want him to be, but guess what? He scored just as many points as Steven Adams in the last couple games. He just put up 26 and 16 against Brooklyn. Well, it's Brooklyn though.
Bro, he looked like he roll out the bed.
That's cool, but I'm telling you right now,
he don't know.
He not built like that.
Literally,
he not built like that, bro. The man literally.
It's a personal beef.
You're getting 25, 20, and 5. 0, 0, 9, and 1.
Bro.
And he going home to play Call of Duty out right now. I'm not. You don't want that, bro. I am telling you this right now.
Let me tell you
in
this.
In Portland, he averaged a double-double.
And he's not finna play defense, so he's not finna play
15 and 13 a game.
But kid, you gotta remember what we saw though. The numbers look great, but you got to remember what we saw. We saw that man disappear when a real big man got put up against him.
bro.
He's soft, boy.
And look, I'm gonna
consistently.
He's soft.
He against Wendell. Hey, look, against Wendell, he'll look like Shaq.
bro.
Legitimately, he'll look like Shaq against Wendell. Maybe not. Maybe Wendell might be against DG when we didn't have Wendell. He would look like Shaq because he can dominate those dudes. But when a real big man is standing on the other side of him, fam, I've seen Rudy Gobert disrespect this man. Disrespectfully so.
In the chat, I bring up a
Somebody
good point.
said consistently soft.
I said we need a Sabonis. I'm not mad at that.
They're not giving.
Hey, listen.
I said need a Sabonis type.
He said that kind of player.
That kind of
Hey,
player.
listen. The Sabonis type comes every couple 5 years or something like that, dog. Because Sabonis is putting up some historical looking numbers.
No, it's in his genes.
I was gonna say Sabonis is
in his genes.
putting up numbers like his daddy.
Yeah,
If not,
it's literally in his genes.
I don't care. Hey, when I see that name come across, I'm like, you crazy than a mug. You think we about to get a Sabonis? You know what they'd have to give up? Like they'll trade away their entire future. That man just dropped 36 the other day.
Bro, he
36, 17, and 10.
Question: When do
36, 17, and 10 is what he dropped?
Year Shaq's son? No, I'm not saying anything like that. I just said what year. What year is he?
Sharif is technically a sophomore, but he didn't
at
play his
Arizona.
freshman
He
year.
redshirted, right?
He didn't play.
He didn't play his freshman
What
year.
is what is his style of play?
Handles.
So he's a point guard.
No.
Nah, he finesse.
He a finesse big.
His first son is a finesse
Stressful.
big. His second one is, I think.
Why do people keep saying Vooch is getting traded? Vooch ain't getting traded.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, Bulls fans be trying to manifest. I ain't mad at y'all. Manifest all you can. You know what I'm saying?
Vooch is the reason they just beat the Warriors right now.
Let's look ahead to the next game on the schedule. We got Sacramento on the schedule for tomorrow night. De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes is going to be out. Glenn Robinson out. The Bulls still seeming to have the same injuries they have. Chandler Hutchinson out due to personal issues. Larry Markkinen out with the shoulder. Otto Porter with the back. What do you guys think, man? You think the Bulls able to pull off a dub tomorrow?
Who's guarding De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah.
Who's guarding Fox?
Who's guarding Fox? Oh, nobody.
Zach.
Probably Zach, actually. Yeah,
If
probably
Zach guards Fox, we got a dub. If Zach don't guard Fox, we having some trouble.
Yeah, it'll probably end up. The thing that I do like about Zach, and I'll commend him for his game this season. The thing I really like about Zach is that Zach is taking the mantle of he's the best player on your team. I got him.
Yeah.
He cooking Kobe. Get Kobe out of here. I got him. And nobody's arguing with him. We saw that a little bit tonight. Tobias Harris started. And let's be real. Let's be real. When a player starts cooking and Zach switches on him,
He stopped cooking.
They have slowed down considerably. Let me know in the chat if I'm tweaking on that. But I believe that legitimately, when a player starts cooking, when Tobias Harris was cooking tonight and Zach switched on him, Tobias Harris slowed his game down considerably. What you got?
I just realized you said we playing the Kings.
Yeah.
Halliburton is on the Kings.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look.
I can't wait to see that point guard matchup.
Hey, listen, there's no help for Kobe.
Hey, listen. That man about to get cooked.
But you know what? You know why he won't?
That man about to get cooked.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why he won't. Because Billy Donovan's not gonna stand for it, and I got to give Billy Donovan credit on what he is doing with this Bulls team. Billy Donovan's not gonna stand for it. When Kobe White got benched in the third quarter versus Indiana, you know what he said? Yeah. Kobe, what'd you think happened there when Billy benched you? I gave up 2 layups. What was gonna happen? Yeah, you gave up 2 layups because you're not supposed to give up 2 layups. I don't know if y'all know it's a 2-way game. I know the NBA don't, but Billy's not gonna stand for it, and so I respect him for that.
Yeah,
you go out there, you don't want to give effort on both ends of the floor. Okay, sit your butt on the bench.
Yeah.
And think about what you did.
But here's the thing. If you giving me 40 on the other end, I'm not going to sit your butt on the bench. But if you out there running and jumping.
Hey, what is it, Rico?
Getting active.
Hey, getting active. Don't confuse activity with production.
You might as well do Zumba out there.
Don't confuse activity with production. If you out there just running and jumping, sit your butt on the bench. I don't need you, especially if you're legitimately in the Detroit game. I texted the kid at one point. I said, Kobe is a liability standing in the middle of the floor.
Yep.
The Bulls were running a play just to get the ball up the court. They weren't even running a play yet. They were just trying to get the ball up the court, and Kobe had no idea where to be at center court.
Yeah.
He was just standing there like he was lost. That's my problem. And I get Kobe's 20. I get we gonna say all of that. Make him a score. If you make him a score, when you make Kobe White a score, Kobe White can score. Make him a score. Tell that man to go out there for one purpose, score. Don't tell him to do nothing else. Don't tell him to do nothing else. I don't want to see him do nothing else. I don't want to see him trying to make the Chris Paul pass. I don't want to see him trying to be doggone Buddy Hield. Maybe Buddy Hield. I don't want to see him trying to be Halliburton. I don't want to see none of that. Tell him to go out there. Kobe, your goal tonight. Look at me. Look at me, Kobe. Look at me. Your goal tonight, get 30. Hold on. That's your whole goal. Don't do nothing else.
I want Kobe to lead the second unit. I want him to lead the second unit. It's not. I'm not trying to demote him and say, "Hey, listen." But having him on a second unit keeps scoring on the floor.
Right.
Having a real PG on the floor with Zach allows Zach to do what he needs to do, and not necessarily like if you really realize why Zach turnovers were so high, it was specifically during games in which he had to do both the facilitating and scoring.
Yeah.
And if you notice his style of game, that's not what he wants to do.
Right.
He wants a setup like Book has. And Book is really benefiting off that setup because, I mean, hey, Chris Paul just got 19 assists tonight.
Dog, that man, you
want to. I know it's Chris Paul, but he hey, listen, a good point guard setting you up. How many did Book score tonight? Because I know Book had a good night. Did he play tonight?
When I tell you, if you want to,
CP3 scored a dagger over Lonzo Ball. That's what I saw.
Oh, did he? Was that how the game ended there?
Yeah.
Mid-range?
Nah, 3.
Oh, a three. Okay.
Hold on. My only issue with Kobe White
look, everybody's just like,
Kobe don't
getting traded now.
Kobe White only runs like a very like basic like isolation. Like everybody get to the other side of the court and let him cook on one side. He don't really run a break to me.
That's fine though. That's fine.
I need him to run a break.
No. Kobe can run the break if Kobe get the ball on one end, he take off because he fast. That's fine.
He's the new Ben Gordon.
I don't want him to be a point guard. I want him to score. I want him to be a scorer. And I don't want this. Listen, I don't care. I don't want this to be the Kobe White show. I just think Kobe White's out of position. Somebody needs to be the two.
But I just want him to score in a pick and roll. That involves other players.
No. Let that die. Let that die. I want you to get all of that out your head. Let that die. That idea right there that you just had, I want you to go home. I want you to take that
and light the Lil Wayne
and burn it. I don't want there to be no thought of Kobe White being a point guard after tonight. Is that too much?
Real talk though.
Is that too much?
Pick and roll. Is that too much?
I'm gonna hit you with some history. What you mean?
You said what, kid?
I said I'm gonna hit you with some history. You know who Kobe White is? Vinnie Johnson.
That's not a bad name, although Jay Cripp would be in the live. Like, why are you talking about players from the 60s?
Hey, for those who don't know,
but
Vinnie Johnson was a guard known as the microwave.
I was gonna say, yeah, absolutely.
All he would do was get in and score. That's all they wanted him to do. And when he did it, he was good. Put up good numbers. They got some wins.
Yeah.
When they made him a starter and had him in a prominent role, didn't really quite mesh.
Because that's not his game.
That's not his game. That is who Kobe White is right now. Now, can he what do you call it? Invent himself or maybe, develop more? Sure. But right now, that's who he is.
Here's the thing. It's not even reinventing yourself. You don't have an identity. You would be inventing yourself.
That's sad.
I'm going to say this too. Right now, the Bulls are 12 and 16. That's nice.
It's nice for where this tells you where we've been.
What?
This tells you where we've been. We're competing right now we're ninth in the Eastern Conference, competing for a playoff spot. That tells you where we've been.
But look, even if you just get 2 more wins to get to 14, there's basically 6.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point, especially with the way the season is going, yeah, I feel like making the trade for the point guard would have to be the most urgent thing right now, especially if y'all trying to play. Only because I feel like if you put Kobe in that spot where he just focus on getting buckets like a Lou Will or something like that, I feel like at that time the Bulls will eat because now Kobe has that. I mean, Zach has that person where like I can score my 30 and I know he's at least going to give me 20.
Well, here's the thing. I think you make the move because that's the move you can make.
Right.
There's no big man you're gonna go get that's gonna fix this right now.
No.
Like you just don't have the assets for it. Your best asset on your team is the player you can't get rid of.
Right.
And you're not going to trade Thad for a big. You're not going to trade Thad for a Steven Adams. You're not going to trade Thad for a Vucevic. You're just not, because those teams need so much more, and they're not going to give up the one piece on that team that's successful.
Hold on, question. Hold on. We're not going to talk about Dotson cooking in the bubble, though. Baki be tagging us all the time. And Dotson,
hey, I'm going to get
shout out to Baki.
I'm gonna get shout out to Baki. Baki's a P1. I'm gonna get some Devon Dotson footage to see what's going on in that bubble over there, because to everybody, if you don't know, Devon Dotson is down in the playing for the Canton Charge, I believe. Ooh, you know what? I got homies in Canton. I might even be able to get a game in. Where they playing at?
Florida?
Man, skip that. We finna try to get Buddy on the show. He ain't got nothing to do.
Don't you know his mama?
Huh?
Don't you know his mama?
I am familiar with the family. I don't know him, but I'm familiar with him.
All right, we're going to make something happen. Before we get up out of here, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got 79 people in here. That's crazy right now. We appreciate y'all for showing us love. If y'all ain't done so, please like the video, man. We really appreciate y'all. Ringo, what you got for the game tomorrow? You got a dub or no?
I got it L. I feel like Kobe is gonna get cooked. Halliburton has just started coming into his own, and yeah. But please do not work me up with no more Hassan Whiteside talk. Like, don't do that, bro.
I've never seen Ringo. I've never seen Ringo so stressed in my life.
Like, don't. Please don't do that, bro.
I've never seen Ringo so stressed in my life. AD, what you got?
Do you even have to ask? It's the Bulls.
Yeah.
It's the Bulls.
That's pretty much what
coming off an L, especially coming off an L.
Yeah.
Bro. Watch out, Sacramento.
Kid, what you got?
All right, I got a nice take for you real quick.
Go ahead
with it. I got us getting the win, but I do have Zach scoring over 30. I have Kobe scoring over 20. I have Wendell actually scoring over 15. But I do have Tyrese Halliburton dropping like 25 on Kobe. De'Aaron Fox having equal number as that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a shootout, of course.
Yeah.
And I also think
no defense.
We may be seeing somebody who used to wear Bulls jersey potentially float around in some trade talk real soon.
Talk about a Bobby Portis?
Nope.
Who you got?
Rondo.
Really?
I think he's been floating around already, though, ain't he?
Hawks are not happy with him.
Why?
Probably because Rondo's inciting the rookies to be like, "Hey, man, we should play too." And he's like, "Shut up."
Who's coach down there? It's not Dwayne Casey, is it?
No. It's
they're vastly. I would tell you this: they technically had a better team. Like if you had asked us who was going to be the top teams in the East when the season started, everyone had Atlanta in the top 10. They are like underperforming for real. And so the experiment for Rondo for them has not worked, and he's not a real big salary hit for most teams. And so they've been circulating that, but it's been really heating up either to a Chicago or back with Danny Ainge. So
yeah, I think Rondo going back home for that one. But if you did get Rondo back in a Bulls jersey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you this: I would love Rondo working with Kobe White because I think he actually might learn how to be a point guard.
Yes.
I really do. Like Rondo's that kind of guy. Rondo's that guy that can come in and be like, "Now, kid, look, I know you can score, but you suck. And I just want you to know you suck at everything else. So we're gonna teach you how to be good at it.
Right. You need a Mr. Miyagi.
I mean, you think he got them? You think he got that Chris Paul in him?
Who? Rondo?
Rondo.
Rondo should be a coach right now.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not gonna lie to you.
Absolutely.
Rondo probably could have been the coach of the Nets this season if nothing. Rondo should be a head coach right now in the NBA.
Him and Jordan.
And you know what? That is the real thing right there. All we really want is for our young players to have good veterans that can help them develop in their roles. That's really all we want.
Yeah.
Kobe doesn't have that here. Kobe is sitting there put on an island having to figure it out himself. He has no veterans to
count Garrett Temple as.
I put Garrett Temple as a 2, maybe 3. I don't look at him as right. Like
because I know Garrett Temple has done. I know he's done wonders. Him and Thad together have done wonders with P. Will.
Yeah,
just teaching him where to be defensive.
Who ain't a point guard on a former point guard on Billy's staff?
Mo Cheeks.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Kobe can't learn from Mo Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks.
Didn't he just get here though?
Yeah, Mo Cheeks just got here this season, but I mean,
yeah, but still,
I mean,
that's the only caveat there. If you want to say,
yeah, Mo Cheeks is if you gonna learn NBA from somebody,
that's the one.
Mo Cheeks is definitely the dude you should learn to be a point guard from.
Kobe got
to hold that one.
And this is actually really for the chat too, because I know we got people from all different age ranges. Do you think that for today's NBA, not saying that Mo Cheeks doesn't have a wealth of knowledge and stuff like that, like he can teach you the base, but for today's NBA, as far as how dynamic the guards are now, that he would be the best mentor for Kobe?
You gotta walk before you run.
I think Mo Cheeks speaks better for today's NBA because, to me, he fits I think he fits this NBA better than he fit the NBA that he was in.
Okay,
but
because he wasn't even featured when he was.
You know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, like it's like he was Dr. J's right hand man.
Yeah,
but he could still
fundamentally he'll make sure you sound, and it's clear that
exactly
on the fundamentals.
And that's the thing. Like the thing that we've talked about with the point guard position in general, or the guard position in general, not even just Kobe, is the fundamental miscues. The times where we see somebody come down and just make a bad pass, or the times we see somebody come down, jump in the air, and then turn around to try and see if somebody's back there, and there's nobody there, so they just turn the ball over.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he was on the staff when him and Monty Williams was on the staff when the Thunder had Russ, KD,
you're right,
and James. And I've heard y'all talk a million times. Russ to y'all is not really a PG. He's a
to who?
Who's not y'all?
Russ been having a triple double since 2000 and
but it's like, I mean, when he came in, they didn't really
early on at OKC.
Yeah, so he kind of.
I don't think people thought Russ fit in the NBA.
And kind of the same thing with James. He told James how to, hey, bro, this is your role, because you know what I'm saying.
I can't give him credit for James Harden because James Harden wasn't doing what he was doing in Houston in OKC, but he had a different role. And so it's some. At the end of the day, Mo Cheeks is an excellent coach.
Yeah, that's what it was. Just a general question because I know his history, and I'm just saying that
I don't know what else to say, because it's either him or Monty Williams.
Hey, Matt, don't get me excited with this comment. I know DeMarcus Cousins is well past his great years, but don't do it. All right. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us, man. We really appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Y'all have shown us so much love in the chat, in the live. We are going to get up out of here. This is going to be what we do, kind of. This is going to be what we do. We're going to have a game of the week instead of doing every Bulls game. So we won't be live tomorrow. We might get on for some post game depending on how the game go, but we won't be live tomorrow for the game. We're going to pick a game every week to to call essentially, and then 2 other days out of the week we're going to go live. We know we're going to do it on Wednesday. We're trying to find that other day that fits with everybody's schedule, so we'll talk with y'all about that as well. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us though, man. Y'all stay safe out there. AD, Steph the Don, P Kid, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.